been there and done that. And now the baddest of the rock gods methodically analyze and dissect musical notes, compositions, and riffs that made them go from the stage to the couch. This is My Favorite Riff. Here's your host, Nikki Sixx.
I'm Nikki Sixx. I'm with Steve Vai. We've known each other for a long time, and I'm really excited you're down here to do.
Nice to be here.
My favorite riff.
My favorite riff. Now, if I have to think of my favorite riff though.
Yeah, because I asked you, and you were like, "Wow, there's so many," and it's
so
hard.
would it be a favorite riff that I like to play, or like my favorite riff from other bands when I was growing up?
Either.
Because I think my favorite riff in the whole world that burned its impression in me.
Yeah.
That was the defining moment that I decided to play the guitar is when I heard. Or Heartbreaker by Led Zeppelin.
Yeah.
When I heard that, I was like, okay, man, that's it.
I remember putting that record on and just going back to the guitar solo part.
Yeah.
I was in Seattle. I was like, what is that?
Yeah, I used to have my friends over and say, listen to this. I knew what overdubbing was, and I thought that he had a couple of guitars, maybe 2 or 3 guitars doing all that crazy stuff. And I would lie. I thought I was lying to them, and I'd say, that's one guitar doing that.
Right.
I thought I was lying, but it was just one guitar.
One guitar.
Yeah.
Amazing.
So that was the kind of riffs that I love, just the attitude riffs. But then as I started to kind of develop my style, I just kept looking for weird stuff.
Yeah.
You know, just because if you know my playing, it's kind of bizarre. So,
but your stuff is as complicated as I can know it is. Sometimes it's so easy to understand.
Well, I love melody.
Yeah.
You know, everything I do is unless I'm just shredding for the sake of shredding.
Yeah.
Which is not actually as often as I think most people think. It's melody because I love melody. Every time I play, it's just I'm thinking melody. I might just go. I mean, to me, that's a melody.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. So once you got to be able to sing it.
Yeah, and you got to be able to land on notes that make sense. You know, that give it that phrase.
Yeah.
You know, it's kind of like if I sat here all day and just talked to you like this on and on and on. It wouldn't matter if I was telling you the secrets of the universe. You get really bored because there's no inflection or anything like that. Some people play the guitar like that.
Right.
You know, and I like to play it like
a conversation.
I'm speaking to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember, was it Yankee Rose when you did?
Oh yeah. I don't have the wah-wah, but
yeah,
it was the talking guitar.
The talking guitar. But we were like, what?
What did you think when you thought? Because I was totally removed.
Well, you know what? It's like that kind of stuff. If you think back to being, you know, when you were listening to Heartbreaker, it's just stuff that's cool. Like guitar's cool.
It is cool.
It's always cool, and like shredding is cool. But it's those kind of things. Like that's something someone will remember for the rest of their life.
Yeah, I was lucky. I was able to kind of do something which at the time wasn't so natural.
Yeah.
But it was easy. It was always going. You know.
Yeah.
It's silly stuff like that.
Yeah.
But then I'd get into it with laughing and all sorts of stuff, and that was kind of when that started when I was working with Frank.
Yeah.
Frank Zappa. Frank used to do this thing where he would get on stage. Oh my God! And he'd tell a story, and it was like something that happened the night before. And this one story was called "The Story of the Jazz Discharge Party Hats," and it was about the guys in the band who met these girls that worked at the college, and that night they were all running around the pool, and the girls were naked, and the guys took the panties and put them on their head and were running around, so it was like a party hat.
Yeah.
But this is as per Frank's lyrics, the stuff they found at the bottom was like punching an egg Claire.
Oh.
That's Frank Zappa.
Yeah. Yes,
and
it was.
So that's why it's the Jazz Discharge Party Hat.
Oh, okay, I get it.
But it was a 7-minute story. And you know, whenever you speak, there's notes. Da. There's notes. So I took this 7 minutes and I copied every note in every word, and it's really bizarre. It was hard. Yeah. So that started the kind of little talking guitar thing.
Did you do that while he was talking, or
no? I had to study it.
Yeah.
He gave me the tape. You know, I heard he played the story. I was in the band when he told this particular story on stage, and he was listening back, and I said, you know, I could double your voice on the guitar. He's like, go right ahead.
Was he like a big like as a mentor and a
Yeah.
band leader, and
Yeah.
as Frank Zappa, was he like, let me see what you got type person? Was he
Yeah.
like trying to pull the best out of you all the time?
Yeah, he had this uncanny ability to kind of see what your potential was, even better than you did, you know? Because he'd never ask you to do something you couldn't do, but he would push you to do things that he thought you could do that you didn't think you could do. You know?
That's exciting.
Yeah, it was really exciting.
So if he asks you to do something and you're like thinking, I'm not ready for that, but if he says it, you know
You're gonna-
that you're
yeah.
going to achieve it.
because he knows what to ask you to try.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And because that was one of his insightful one of his insightful gifts.
Yeah.
He would he might not even know you, but he would probably think, intuitively after talking to you and hearing you, whatever, know that you would be fantastic at forming a kick-ass metal band. And
He
just
would
making
know that.
authentic, yeah.
I've always felt like those album covers, those photos of Frank Zappa, intimidating dude.
Yeah.
Like he looked like the real deal, like an animal rock star.
Well, the amazing thing about Frank is he was almost intuitive to where if you're talking to him, he listened. You know how like some people they only are waiting for you to shut up so they can talk, or they are thinking of what they're going to say while you're talking or disagreeing, and that Frank just listened, and he could read your intentions. It almost didn't matter what you were saying. He just so you got to be really careful in a sense, because if there was anything that you were saying that like had an agenda in it or ego, man, you better be ready.
Would he like let you know that he knew?
He'd let anybody know.
Really? So he was
the
brave.
response was perfect. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll give you a great example. There was this one time he was on this show. It was an old show. It was called the Joe Pine Show.
I don't remember that
Joe
one.
Pine was years, I think, before us even. You know.
Okay.
And this guy was sort of like a Howard Stern kind of like take the piss out of you.
Yeah.
And he had wooden legs. The guy had a wooden leg.
Okay.
Right? So Frank's on the show and he comes out and he's got long hair and everything. And the first thing that the guy says to Frank is, "Hey, with all that hair, that must make you a woman." And without missing a beat, Frank says, "With that wooden leg, that must make you a table."
Brilliant.
Isn't that great? Everyday stuff like that.
Yeah,
with
every
Frank.
day.
Yeah, man, it was so funny.
Do you have any favorite Frank Zappa
Oh
riffs?
my God! Oh, Frank Zappa riffs. Oh my gosh!
Or a piece of
It's been so
anything?
long.
I know, it's been so long, right?
Well, Frank would come in and he would show you stuff, and he would say, "Play this," and he'd kind of creak his way through it because he had like technique, like a very visceral kind of solo. He would but when it came time to real specific kinds of things, he would play them slow, and then you'd have to just play them really fast.
Okay.
Whatever. And there was this one song, and we were in the studio. Somehow I found myself just sitting in the studio jamming with him kind of often, you know. And he showed me this one riff, and it went. I'm a little out of tune, but and okay, let me see. Yeah.
That's pretty. Yeah.
Oh. So then he just showed me that much.
Yeah.
And he'd be like, and then he'd wait. So, but you had to go. It's a fast one. I can't. I'm not.
Yeah,
I haven't
ready.
played it in 25 years.
Yeah.
But so then a month goes by, and I'm in the studio again. And I said, "You remember that piece you showed me?" He goes, "No." And I said, and I showed him, and he goes, "Okay, add this." Oh, I forgot it. But another part.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I said, okay. So then I did that, and then a month goes by, and I go, "Do you remember the song that the piece that we put in?" No, and I showed him, and he goes, "Oh yeah, okay, play this." Oh gosh, Nikki, it's been.
The fact you can even remember that much after 25 years.
Something like that. I was like.
Yeah.
it went into this kind of weird part.
Yeah.
You know. So then, sometime after that, I said, "Do you remember this?" And he's like, "Yeah." So he goes, "Well, write it out for me." So I wrote the whole thing out, and the whole chord part basically went like this. And then it went into another part. But it was very beautiful. Then he took that and he did this whole arrangement with the band. And then the staff that I left,
Yeah.
he wrote this beautiful, crazy melody. And that became 2 different pieces now. And that was just nice to be kind of a little part of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you see, Frank wrote such beautiful music too. That's a beautiful
That sounded
song.
like Rainfall or something.
Yeah,
It's
and on a
gorgeous.
clean, with a clean tone and the,
Yeah.
it's really sweet.
Like as far as like your favorite hard rock riff.
That's, of course, yeah. You just don't get cooler than that. I don't know. For me,
As like a technical player,
yeah,
it's inspirational to me. Whenever we've talked throughout the years, you always go like right for these type of things. You're like, look at this.
Yeah.
Like that is a simple, great riff. That's like something we all play and
Yeah.
get the bass.
yeah.
Oh, I love that.
You can't. I mean, when I hear that riff, even these days, or Black Dog or something like
Yeah,
that,
Black Dog. Yeah.
I become paralyzed, man. It's
Yeah.
like I'm 16 again, and I'm staring in the mirror, playing a tennis racket.
Yeah.
Oh.
When you're writing, and you have the ability to write anywhere from there to, orchestration.
Yeah.
How do you differentiate?
Well, you see, that's the funny thing about me. A lot of my stuff is not that simple. I
Yeah.
mean, that looks like a simple riff, and yes, it's simple to play.
Mm-hmm.
But man, it's deep. It's cool. It's well rounded. It's like the perfect sentence. Just the way he played it. I mean, it's this da 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 da. It sounds simple, and it says, "Well, it's just a riff." No, it's not.
Yeah, there's a lot
It's
going on
it's a
inside
big,
it.
fat statement,
Yeah.
And just the same was. I mean, that's like such a perfect statement. So it's not the complexity of
Mm-hmm.
it. It's the way it would make you feel, especially when you're young, and you hear
Yeah.
that kind of stuff. So that was always an attraction to me, but I was never really good at writing them.
Yeah.
I could never. I mean, that's Jimmy. It's those guys.
Yeah.
And so for some reason, my mind, my brain, always kind of seemed to go into more of the more compositional kinds of
Yeah.
things.
Yeah.
So I have songs that have riffs.
Yeah. Of course you do. Yeah, I know those songs.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I mean, that's like a reserved, very thin air that only a few people breathe that can write those kind of simple,
Yeah.
but really great.
Yeah.
How hard it is to hear, to come up with, and
And not sound like someone else.
yeah,
Like, especially in that box,
yeah,
you can sound like someone else very easily.
yeah. You were very successful at creating riffs that had that energy in it.
Yeah, like Kickstart My Heart is so
Kickstart My Heart.
simple, but
Yeah.
it's just, but it takes a whole band.
Yeah, it does.
It takes a whole band.
Yeah.
When you talk about like shredding stuff,
Yeah.
just for me, you got to give me a little, just some shredding stuff.
Well, my shredding, I don't really pick like a
Yeah.
shredder, but well, let me see if I got a little. Shredding is kind of like, yeah.
Love that stuff.
Yeah,
that
I don't
makes
really
me so happy to sit on the couch with you while you do that.
Oh, I love doing it.
It's great.
But it's not really shred, you know, like these.
Yeah,
the way
no,
these
it's a lot of
guys
groove. A lot of groove, obviously.
A lot of melody.
Yeah,
You know, always
tons of
try to
melody.
end it on stuff like that. But in a bizarre twist of something, I don't know, years ago, I was on tour and I was in South America and I got sick because, you know, you go to Mexico, you go to South America.
Sure.
And
It
I
happens.
ended up in this weird Argentinian hospital. And what happened was I just was just sick, you know, from the food. And they put this intravenous in my arm. And it's kind of a creepy story, but it screwed up the veins on the inside of my arm.
Okay.
And I lost the fast picking.
Okay.
You know, I can't get like when I used to be a shredder picker.
Yeah.
I can't connect
What did
like
it do
that.
to the vein? Is it just like
It's called phlebitis. It's kind of like this. There's inside of your veins is a very thin one cell kind of membrane.
Uh-huh.
And it's a creepy story, but I one of these days when we're alone, I'll tell you the whole story. It's hilarious, but it was sick because it destroys the inner cell, so you lose a little bit of. So I just lost a little. It's not, you know, I just lost a little bit of the fast picking, the connecting on the fast. So and plus I kind of like started to not like the sound of shreddy.
I've heard that from guys before. They're like, once I got there, after a while I was like, okay, I got there, but there's so much more I want to say.
Yeah, and that's a nice little thing to have in your vocabulary, but
it's not your vocabulary.
it's not
all it is.
really, you know,
Yeah.
it's not really.
All the greats can go there
Yeah.
when they need to, but
Yeah.
it's sort of like, here's some fireworks.
Yeah.
But, you know.
Yeah, I like the weird stuff.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Tell me about your switches that you have.
Oh, it's pretty simple. This is a gem. This and Evo have been my main guitars, but this is a sustainer.
Yeah.
Fernandez sustainer.
They're great.
I love them.
What an amazing invention.
I know, right? It's great. I've had them ever since they were invented, and I try to do things with them that aren't just conventional. You know.
Yeah, well, even like that just sounds a little bit different. I actually asked if they could make one for bass.
Sure, why not?
I think I got the. They can't for some reason the difference in the strings.
Well, you know, what you might want to try is, I believe, and I don't know if I'm correct about this, but it's this device here that creates the string resonation.
Mm-hmm.
So if you put one of these in a bass, the bass strings, the bass pickups will be able to pick it up, because I can use this and be in this pickup.
Oh, really?
Yeah, this pickup is turned off right now, but it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's still there.
I'm sure I have a bass somewhere I can chop up.
Yeah, I'm sure you got a few.
Yeah. Awesome. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you.
What a blast.
All right, man.